One of our younger hens just started laying. We don't know which one because we took the camera out of the coop because we wanted to see the wildlife that was coming by in the yard, so we moved it. I think it might be Antonio's new girlfriend. He started hanging out with one of the younger ones about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and just being really protective of her and making sure she was getting all the food, and he was fighting everybody off to make sure she was eating. So my suspicion is the one that's laying is the barred rock that he is currently dating. Pam was his previous preferred lady hen, and she really doesn't seem to mind. I think she's kind of wanting to be an independent woman. She's a little older now, and just kind of wants to live life in solitude. We've had a bunch of deer come trampling through here. They did get into my garden once, but it seems like all the animals end up in there on accident because it's pretty well barricaded. It's not really locked in, but there's just a lot of visual barriers that kind of keep them from going that way. They did get in there and got into the blueberries, but otherwise didn't do much damage. I did have something else go in there and trample some of the smaller little seedlings, and so that's unfortunate, but I've kind of accepted now that just because it's not maximum security in there, stuff's going to get trampled on. So I'm not super worried about it, but I do want to still keep an eye on it and keep animals from getting in there. This just seems to be the preferred trail of the deer right now, and probably will be for a couple more months. While the other plants that I mentioned in the last video have started growing some blossoms, which is a good thing. I have another concern, and I can't remember if I mentioned it, but so we've had these tomato plants for about 6 weeks now, and they continue to have blossoms but no tomatoes. So the blossoms will come and the blossoms will go, and no tomatoes. So that might be a pollination issue. I'm not really sure. I have just had things happen this year that I have never had happen, and I don't really know what the reason is. I know that we're dealing with way more pests, bugs and things like that. So that could have something to do with it. It could be the climate is slightly different. It could be just soil. Maybe they aren't getting enough nutrition from the clay that's in the beds. Yes, I had to put the clay soil in the beds to fill them. So it's a mix though. And it's like they seem to be growing without issue, but just we're not getting fruit. I also noticed this with the apple trees, and the apple trees when we first bought the home were covered in apples, and they blossomed, and shortly after the blossoms disappeared. And I wondered if perhaps the deer had eaten the blossoms, and that is why we have now no apples growing there. I think we have maybe 4 or 5 on one of the trees and 0 on the other, so it's really strange. The one thing that will not disappoint are going to be the blackberries. I already see many berries growing, and we still have more blossoms every day, so we are going to definitely not have any shortage of those. As it's getting hotter, I'm like ready to just kind of back off of any outside projects right now. I'm focused more on the inside of the home and just collecting the veggies as they're coming out, and enjoying the summer, because I think it's going to be a lot more crazy next year. That's all the updates. You can